Hey, Internet. It's Joseph. First off, I want to say thanks to everybody for your great comments. Very constructive criticism, and I got kind of a new setup going here. I think this might work a little bit better. The subject I want to talk about today, kind of continuing with the theme from the last video, is dealing with an ex-parent, someone you used to be in a relationship with and no longer are, but you have a child together. And so that can create a lot of challenges in parenting and in doing what's best for your child because no matter what the situation, there's hurt on both sides. Uh, Both parties are injured one way or the other. So it can be hard to separate your personal feelings, and whether it's feelings of loss and betrayal or disgust or whatever they are, these feelings that this other person may have rightly invoked in you. You have to separate that from doing what's best for your child. And almost universally, as much involvement from both parents is typically what a lot of it's kind of commonly accepted, I think, at least in my circle of friends and from what I've read, is as much involvement by both parents as possible is what's best for the child. And so you have to try and facilitate that to the best of your ability. And I understand that different situations give different challenges, but I just want to talk about some kind of common challenges that kind of apply to every situation. And then obviously there's individual challenges that you have to face. And I think the important thing to remember is do what's best for your child, and also remember that no matter what the other person does or says to you, uh, or how despicable that person may be to you, or what they may have done to you or to other people, they mean the world to your child. Your child loves them just as much as they love you, and that's a hard thing. You got to kind of keep that in mind, and that goes into do not ever talk bad about the other parent in a derogatory way, either around or to the child. That's just my opinion because, again, it goes back to that's someone the child loves, and if you're talking down, that can create friction and can create resentment, and it can create all sorts of problems for you as a parent, I would think. And that's kind of what I try to keep in mind. And again, it is extremely difficult. Just my own experience has been incredibly challenging. The the thing that I found in these difficult situations when you have another parent that you really don't want to communicate with, or you have trouble kind of keeping a cool demeanor, is you keep communication limited to co-parenting and related subjects, like things that relate to the child, what the child's doing at school. Like me and Amelia's mother had a conversation recently about Amelia doing the trumpet, which is something I'm super excited about. She has a concert this December. I'm really excited to hear her play because it's something she's super excited about, and so that's something that you want to share with the other parent, right? Because you want them to be involved in their child's life. So if you keep the subjects to relevant topics, you can avoid uh, painful issues. um, and the other thing that can be extremely difficult in that instance is being the bigger person. And I know that that's kind of a catchphrase and stuff like that, but there really is some merit to it because if you can keep your head cool and limit your conversation, you won't escalate anything. Even if they're trying to get a rise out of you, even if they're trying to say things to just push your buttons, even if that's what you think they're doing, ignore it. Ignore it. Because it's not going to serve anything. You and them are already done. Uh, and so don't take it personally if they're expressing their hurt and pain. I mean, again, you got to be the bigger person. You got to be an adult and do what's best for your child. And part of that is facilitating open communication. And sometimes that means you gotta deal with some flack, to put it kind of mildly. Another strategy that I found that has worked really well as far as encouraging Amelia to not feel bad about going to her mom's. That's something else that happens if you have such a negative attitude about the other parent. The child will feel guilty about enjoying themselves there, and that's personal experience. When I was a child, my mother it was 50 questions when I got home. What'd you do? Who was he with? And things like that. And it can really weigh a child down. And so the biggest thing I found is you be present and interested when your child comes home from their time with their other parent, and wants to tell you about it. They want to tell you about all the fun they had. And while you may not want to hear about the fun they had with the other person, understand you're not interested in the other parent. You're interested in what your child did. And you support them in having fun. Oh, that's great. You had fun. I'm glad you had fun with your mom or your dad or whatever the situation is. So, you know, that's kind of my view, kind of an overview. I mean, there's other specifics that you can get into that are kind of present even further challenges if the other parent is you know, not having a good lifestyle, for instance, to kind of use a general term. If they're, then you have to calculate it not on your own judgments of that person, but is that person a danger? You know, can you trust the person to look out for your child? And those are kind of personal decisions that you're going to have to make, given the facts that you have. Again, really challenging issue, and this is just kind of my personal experience and kind of a general overview to kind of things you can keep in mind and kind of maybe make it a little easier. But either way, it's always hard when one parent doesn't live with the child. It's always harder for the child than if both parents live there. And so that's the other thing to keep in mind, that no matter what you're suffering or what you're going through as a result of the breakup or subsequent issues that come up, the child is going through their own issues and their own problems as a result of this breakup. You're not just breaking up, you and your wife. In my instance, I was divorced. You're not just breaking up with her, you're also, there's a separation of a family, and the child will feel that. And I think that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. Again, really interested in what you have to say. Please leave a comment. And any ideas if you want me to talk about a future subject, by all means, leave a comment and get